Assalamualaikum and very good morning, everyone. My name is Faizal. So it's an honor for me to be here today to present or to share a bit about investment game, where I use it for assessment tool on one of my course. But before I start, first and foremost, I would like to thank PPA for organizing such a interesting event and allow me to share a bit about my experience using this particular tool. And also a special thanks to the department, my department, and also my faculty for endless support and provide guidance also for me to pursue this kind of webinar. And for the rest of you, welcome to my sharing sessions. So without further ado, I think I will start off by sharing my slide. Can I share? Hopefully everyone can see this. So this is the online investment game via BursaMktPlc. Right, so the agenda for today consists of 4 things. The first is about the overview of the webinar. Okay, second is the assessment and evaluation tool that I use. A bit of demonstration. I will show you how to use the portal, specifically the portal from lecturer's point of view and also from the student's point of view, and also what would be our plan in the faculty moving forward. So as I mentioned earlier, this is just a bit of knowledge sharing from my part on the assessment and evaluation, all right, that would be suitable, especially for investment related courses. Okay, in my case, I'm teaching PFM 3113, which is the investment portfolio. So I've been using this tool quite a while. And for this topic, specifically for this course, the investment portfolio, it covers several topics ranging from the capital market, the equity portfolio management, and also the portfolio evaluations. So the course expect the students to acquire skills to manage what we call an effective investment portfolio. So technically, this by having this portal or this tool, it allows the students to have like a hands-on experience how to manage an effective investment portfolio. Right, if you go to the specific course CLO, okay, one of the CLO of this course is to demonstrate appropriate decision-making in maximizing investment return through investment portfolio. As I mentioned earlier, this tool will allow or will provide avenues for students to demonstrate their decision-making skills, because they have to select what kind of stocks they have to invest in and how to create their investment portfolios. And in terms of the teaching methods and the assessment of this particular CLO is based on PBL, or I can say also based on games-based learning, GBL. And usually earlier before we start with the BBL, it will involve some lectures and also some discussion. And in terms of the assessment, it will be based on a group task or a group assignment. Okay, in our case, I will use, like I said earlier, the investment game via the BursaMktPlc. So prior to the discovery of BursaMktPlc, I used to handle this, or I used to conduct this kind of assessment offline basis, specifically using Microsoft Excel, whereby the students have to collect all the stock prices either from newspapers or from Bursa portals or even online newspapers like the Star Business sections, for example, whereby they have to record the prices of the stocks usually at the end of the week, usually towards Friday before the market close. They will do the transactions at the end of the week, and they have to submit it before the following Mondays before the markets open back. Okay, so it's very tedious. They have to calculate correctly using Excel. And as for me as instructor or as evaluator, I need to check their calculations, and I need to recheck also their selection of prices, whether they pick the prices correctly or not. Okay, however, I found an alternative platform to assess students via this portal that I will show you later on, which is known as BursaMktPlc. Okay, BursaMktPlc. So it's a free platform. Everyone can use. What you need to do is just register it online. I will show you again later on. So this is a virtual trading platform whereby you can play and trade while learning about stock markets. Okay, so there's a lot of things inside the portal. Besides the game, there's also some learning sections whereby you can see all the terms and jargon that you use in the stock market. I will not go into detail for today. And this will provide an avenue for students to experience, like I said, the actual decision-making process, because all informations are true, meaning real-time. The prices are based on the market. The stocks traded also based on whatever stocks traded in the Bursa Malaysia. Okay, and the price, like I said, is based on real-time. Okay, so this is an example of the instruction that I use for students. For example, this is for this semester, whereby it gives about 20 marks or 20% of the ongoing assessment. So usually what I'll do, I'll use in a group of 4 or 5, but usually most of the time there will be 4 in the groups, okay? And they are required to select a portfolio. By the way, portfolio here means a selection of stocks. Okay, it cannot be just one stock. It must be at least 2 or more stocks. So that's why we call it a portfolio of shares or stocks. And I specified here the Sharia compliant companies only. So Sharia compliant here means companies or counters that are considered Sharia compliant, Muslim friendly kind of investment, whereby companies that involve in trading such as gambling, tobacco, interest taking or interest deposit taking institutions are not considered as Sharia compliant companies. Then we have a lot of information here, or a list of information that they need to observe for the game. Okay, for example, they have to register in this particular BursaMktPlc portal, and some other rules. For example, I provided them with the 80,000 initial capital. Okay, obviously this is a virtual money, 80,000. And their end game is very simple. They need to make profits. Okay, 80,000 is the initial capital, and we want to see how much money they can gain at the end of the so-called assignment. So usually it will last for 4 weeks. I will play just for 4 weeks, and they need to report to me on weekly basis. And some other rules that they have to observe, for example, they have to purchase in lot basis. I will just limit the portfolio to up to 5 companies only. All right, and they have to submit evidence. Okay, one of the downside of the portal, later on I'll show you, whereby I cannot see the actual transactions made by the students. So therefore, as a solution for this, I will ask the students to share or to provide evidence to me every Monday before 9, meaning before the following week's markets open, they have to submit the evidence, the proof of transactions, either via email or WhatsApp. Okay, as I mentioned before, it will last only for 4 weeks. And in terms of marks, there are 2 criteria. One is in terms of the submission, and the other one is based on profits. Okay, so submissions here, if you can see, number 7, they have to submit before the deadline, which is before Monday, 9 a.m. If they submit within the deadline, they will get 2 marks each. So meaning for 4 weeks, they will get a total of 8 marks. Whereby for the profits earned, they will get additional 3 marks. Okay, if they get profits for every week, they will get a maximum of 12 marks. So a total of 20 marks here. And to make things interesting, okay, I'll offer some additional marks for the top 3 in the leaderboard. Okay, so just to spice things up so that they have some element of competition. As you know, as a game-based learning or gamification, competition is one of the main thing that they have to be involved in. Okay, so these are the rubrics, a very simple rubric. But like I said, there's only 2 criteria, which is the submission and also the profit earns. A total of 8 marks for the submission. The 2 marks given if they complete and submission on time, whereby if there's any late submission, meaning they submit after Monday, for example, or after Monday 9 a.m., they will be given 1 mark. Okay, no marks will be given if there's no submission at all, meaning either they forgot or whatever reason they didn't submit the evidence, they will not given any marks, even though there's transaction for them, or even they max profit that week. For submission, there will be no marks. And in terms of profit, it's very straightforward. It's either 0 or 3, meaning if they earn profit, they will get 3 marks. If there's no profit at all, they will get 0 marks. And profit here means the end value of the week is higher than previous week. As I mentioned earlier, if you recall the instruction, they will given 80,000 as initial investment. So for example, the following week, they get 81,000. So meaning 81,000 is more than 80,000 the previous week, they will get 3 marks because they earn a 1,000 ringgit profit in 1 week. And vice versa, if the following week they get 78,000, then they lose money, so they will not earn any profit for that week. So a total of 20% or 20 marks will be given for all 4 weeks. Okay, so now I will give some basic demonstration related to the Bursa Marketplace. So later on, you can go to what we call as the link, the BursaMktPlc.com. So as I mentioned earlier, you have to register first, either using Facebook, Twitter, Google. And as I mentioned earlier also, I encourage you to use email instead because it's much easier. Okay, and if you click the email sections, you need to fill all the information required from your full name, email, and so on. Right, and you submit, and usually they will send an confirmation from email. Then you have to accept the confirmation. Then they will register. You are considered as a registered user. And once you're registered, you can go to login, key in your email and password that you have created earlier. All right. As I mentioned also earlier, it's about the Sharia mode. Okay, you can use either off or on, but for me, I will use it as a mandatory element, because one of the instruction of the game is to invest only in Sharia mode counters or Sharia mode stocks. So I will go to the game straight away. I mentioned earlier that you can join the game whereby hosted by other users and can be joined by public, but we will skip that one. We just go to create game. So for instructor or for lecturers that want to create investment game, okay, just click create game. Set your game as a private game because you don't want other people to join your game, right? You want only your students to involve in this particular game. And I will turn the Sharia mode on and just put a name, whatever name you want to put. So for me, I will use the demo game, okay, for today. There are two types of investment you can play here, either equities or futures. Okay, for us, we will use only equities, the stocks specifically. And if you recall from the instruction, I will give 80,000 initial cash values. And we will start it today, 29. And for example, I will end it 1 month later, 29 of May. So there'll be a maximum of 100 transactions, meaning the buying and selling will allow you to transact 100 times. So I just put a maximum of 100 here. And number of players depends on your group size, number of students. You can do it individually, but if you recall my instruction, I'll play in a group basis. So I just put, say, 50 groups, okay? And I will put only 5 stocks in one portfolio. You can put any numbers actually. Anything more than 2 is considered as portfolio, but to make it simpler for students to handle, I just put 5. Okay, to make it real, to make it, like a real transactions, I will put on the brokerage fees. Meaning every transactions, they have to pay commissions. Okay, so you can put any announcement here, or you can copy and paste from the instruction back here, but this is not a compulsory section. And I, myself, as the host, I need to create the portfolio myself. So say I put a testing. But for students, what they need to do is they have to put their group names here maybe to identify themselves. And maybe the description, they can put their group members. All right, so once you've checked everything back, everything's okay, you just click create game. Okay, portfolio already existed, so I just, okay, so this is the game. Okay, based on the rule that we set, okay, from the instructions, the 80,000 initial values, right? So what I need to do now is to invite students to join the game, okay? So what I need to do is go to the game setting, okay, and invite member. So this is the game, investment game demo, and they will provide you an URL, okay? What you can do, you can email the students, or you can blast this in WhatsApp or any other medium that you want to share with your students, okay? So once they get this, they just need to log in first and then click the link and request to join. So now I will show you from students' point of view. I'll open up another account here. Okay, I will log in here using presumably a student's account. So I log in as a student. right? So technically it's the same. So what I need to do is to copy the link. Once I click the link, it will pop up this information. Are you sure you want to join this game? So I will click yes, and they will inform you that you will be notified once your request been approved by the creator, which is by the instructor. So you can see here currently the status are pending. So as a lecturer or as an instructor, so I need to refresh. You can see here there's a request to join your game. So imagine if you have 50 groups of students or 20 groups of students, you will see a list of students requested to join your game. What you need to do is just to approve. Okay, so now you can see the student's account already approved. So you can go inside the game. The game will ask you to create the portfolios. Okay, so you can create the portfolio. Like I said, usually student, I will ask them to put their group names, team 1, I don't know, just for example, and the group members. You can put all the group members, 4 of them here, and click join game. Okay, so once they've registered and approved, what they need to do next is to transact, to buy or to sell stock. Obviously, you need to buy first before you can sell. And we have 80,000 here. So here is their time to showcase their ability to pick the right stocks. Okay, pick the right stocks where to invest in, using techniques that they've learned in the class, either using technical analysis, using charting, for example. And on top of that, the BursaMktPlc also provide, like I said, tool whereby they can use any indicators here for selections. I just want to show you one. For example, I can use screener here. So this is the student account, as I mentioned earlier. I have a separate browser here. So actually, I've done one transaction already based on the market screener. Okay, so I have to show again, I think, for the market screener. So the screener will allow or will give some indication to students which kind of stock they can choose from. All right, so here are some of the options. So they can play around with this. For example, like I said, if I want some recommendation from analysts to buy some stocks, okay, and a lot of other options down here. So say I just show all 35 results. So you can see all the recommended companies, all right, with the buying or buy recommendations. So I chose Ajinomoto earlier. Okay, I chose Ajinomoto earlier here. For example, I want to invest another company from this screen, which is the KSH, yeah, KSH. So what I need to do, I need to go back to the game. So I go back to the game again, okay, to complete my portfolios. Okay, because so far I just only choose one company. Okay, so there's only one stock so far for me. And the portfolio value I already purchased earlier is 39,900 with a available cash of 66,000. So far, as you can see, I only have one Ajinomoto. Now I want to buy another stocks, which is from the screener earlier. There's one company called the KSH. Okay, so currently it's doing at 33 cents. So say I'm going to buy, because this is cheap stocks, I'm going to buy 20 lots, for example. One of the options of the game is we have what we call as leaderboard. Okay, but the leaderboard, it will take some time to appear. It's supposedly we have two users here, which is myself as instructor and also another account of mine as another user. So if you have more users or more players, you will see a list of players with their total game value. I will show you the example that I've already screenshot from the actual transaction that we've done in class afterwards. So all in all, I think that's about it with regards to BursaMktPlc portal, whereby I explain the instructors' options, what they can do with the games, how to set up the game, and how to invite the students to join. And I also showed you how the students can join and also transact and with the buying and selling transactions. So I will move on with my presentation after the demo. All right, so this is the example of leaderboard. After we played some time, this is the actual transactions or the actual leaderboard that I've gathered for this semester, because I've already played this with my students this semester. So as you can see, this is the top 5 of the groups or PFM 3113 group. It's actually not group A, this is the whole groups anyway, like A192. You can see the top 5 companies, and the students have an effort to create their logos and to, to come up with their group names. And these are the values of their current overall values of their stocks and also their portfolios. If you recall, the initial value is 80,000 ringgit. So the top 5 here, obviously exceeding that value. Okay, with the up-down company here, garnered about 95,000 ringgit. So I think this is only for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, the student managed to earn about 15,000 profits from the transactions. Okay, and on the other side, we also have the other side of the coin, or maybe the lowest points or the lowest values of the students. And even though this is an individual names, this is actually the person who registered in the game, and or I can say the leader of the team lah. Okay, and all bottom 3 are losing monies, meaning with the 80,000 initial money, they lost with the most here about 2,000 plus. Not bad actually, but yeah, it's compared to the top performers here. Okay, so this is the leaderboard. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, the top 3 here will get additional marks, but in terms of everything, okay, they will not, the bottom 3 also will not get 0, obviously. So here are the example of the assessment marks. Okay, this is only for the first 2 weeks, for example. So here are the list of the groups. Okay, on time here represents did they send their report of transactions on time or not, meaning before Monday 9 a.m. Okay, you can see most of them, yes, but there's one team here who submitted late. Okay, so what happened if they submitted late? They only get 1 mark, a potential maximum of 2 marks. And to see whether they get profit or not, like I said, what they need to do is basically to have more money from the opening week. So since this is the first week, okay, all of them equal 80,000. So you can see here, those who have higher than 80,000 automatically will get 3 marks. Okay, meaning they get 750 profits, for example, or 350 for this group number 2. Okay, and for those who lost money, for example, the bottom 3 here have no profit marks. Okay, and these closing funds or closing values will be carried forward for the following week. Okay, so they need to outdo or outperform from the previous week. So they have to get more than previous week. So again, the same thing, check whether they submitted on time or not, and we check also the closing values. And for the second week, you can see every team, okay, even though the first week they lost money, but for the second week, all of the groups managed to get profits. Okay, so all of them entitled for profit. So this will be carried on for 4 weeks, and with the total maximum of 20 marks. So this is only half of it. You can see the range from 10 marks until 6 marks is the lowest for the students. So that's how I use as an alternative assessment using game-based investment trading, which gives about 20% or 20 marks of the overall assessment for this particular course, which is investment portfolio. All right, moving forward, I think this is the final part of my presentation today. Moving forward, so the faculty, okay, with the blessing and with the direction of the dean, has set up what we call a Bursa simulation room for the usage of the students and also the staff of UPSI. Okay, whereby the rooms try to mimic or try to imitate the trading room or the simulation room for the trading. So our students can utilize this more comprehensive investment analysis tool instead of the one that I used earlier, which is considered as a free tools. Okay, so the faculty are procuring what we call as a paid analysis tool, whereby it's more comprehensive, more I cannot say accurate, but it's more better decisions regards to making investment decisions, okay, in the actual trading room. So with the introduction or with the setup of this Bursa simulation room, so there will be a lot of programs in the future related to investment, not only for students actually, also for the staff or even the public. Okay, just wait for the queue, right, in the future. So a bit of the room. So this is the main area whereby we have 4 screens here, which shows all the indicators and all the information with regards to Bursa Malaysia. Okay, the simulation room was officially launched last year, actually, 18th of October, by our beloved BC. And this is another view of the simulation room. We have plenty of terminals, about 30 of them, for students, and also we have also what we call the market ticker, okay, or the ticker board space whereby you can feel like you are in the trading room. Okay, I think that's about it. Thank you very much.